Afternoon to my viewers. It's really with Spirit of Matter in the I don't know how much video of the day. Um, just saw that the moon is about to enter the fourth lunar mansion, and I said I must do a video because I'm so curious about what is in the fourth lunar mansion. I'm studying this myself, and so I'm doing Studying Life with me. So right now it is a Mars day, so j'ai Hanumanji and Luna hour. So Mars day, Luna hour. Midheaven is ruled by Venus, applying to Pars Fortuna at 22 degrees of Libra. And Venus is sitting pretty in the 8th house. So Venus is in the ruler of the midheaven in the 8th house. Good for studying occult. Maybe there would be things to do with generational wealth or trauma association in the lunar mansion. I don't know. I'm trying to predict. And the ascendant is ruled by Saturn, with Saturn retrograde in the 3rd. Not the best election. But Mercury is ingressing into Leo, Mars ingressed into Virgo, Sun in Cancer in the 7th, Luna in the 5th, applying to Jupiter, and entering, the moon, it rejoices in the 3rd, I think. But Luna in the 5th is kind of a nice place, and Luna in Taurus is in a good mood. She's in Taurus. She's exalted. So now I'm going to go to a great source that kind of unifies all the things that very important people wrote about the lunar mansion and summarizes them. And this is magicandmastery.com. So I'm very thankful to the lady that runs this website. Oh, this one is only from May 16, 2022. So somebody did something very good with their COVID time. And this is the fourth lunar mansion. Aldebaran, which means the follower. Tropically, it is from 8 degrees 34 minutes 17 seconds Taurus to 21 degrees 25 minutes Taurus. And it's nicknamed here the Rider. Now I want to see if the moon has reached this or not yet. Let's look at the moon. So here 8:37. And what is it here? And here it is 8:34. Yes, we are already in the fourth lunar mansion. So the Rider. When the moon is here, it's a auspicious time to exercise strength and tenacity and overcoming obstacles. Pursue your goals, especially in business. Dive in and get something accomplished. Travel. Do not surrender because something is too hard. Avoid partnerships with those more powerful than you. Okay, you must keep this in mind. Lunar mansion in history. Astrologers through the ages wrote, so Aldebaran. Aldebaran is a large shining red star in the easterly eye of Taurus. The head of Taurus is shaped like a ball with its mouth to the north, while the muffle of the bull, mouth and lips are directed south. Aldebaran, the follower of the Pleiades, is also called Tabi al-Naim or Najm. Abenragel, good for sewing, for putting on new clothes. So now you can put on new clothes. The previous one was not so good for new clothes. Receiving women and feminine things. What does that mean? For demolishing a building or starting a new one. For making a journey, except the third part of the day. Dorotheas, good for building a house which will be solid and building in general. Right now the moon is decreasing, so we might not start a building right now. But with the moon growing in this lunar mansion and well aspected, perhaps yes. To dig a ditch, to buy slaves who will be loyal and honest, and to buy livestock. Also good to be with kings and lords for receiving power or honors. Bad to contract marriage, since women will prefer another, or to enter partnerships, especially with those more powerful. So, you can receive honors from kings, but don't partner up with them, and don't marry a woman because she would prefer somebody else. Voyages will involve big waves. If captured, captivity will be long, but if captured for skills, it will be released through goodwill. If captured for skills, it will be released for goodwill. Through goodwill. Okay, so you might be long in captivity, but if they just hire you to do something, then eventually you will be released by the kindness. So you might survive this captivity and be let go of with ease eventually. Picatrix, 11th century. The fourth mention is Aldebaran, and it is for the creation of enmity. When the moon is passed around this mansion, take red wax and form from it, fashion the image of an armed man riding in cavalry horse, holding a serpent in its right hand. Sense this image with red myrrh and storax, and say, you, Asares, do such and fulfill my request. And make your request from things pertaining to enmity, separation, and the creation of evil desires. And it shall be completed as you have asked. And now that Asares is the name of the Lord of this mansion. Again, would you like, we are now in 2023. This was in 11th century. Okay. Do we think that it's a good strategy to create evil in the heart of a person? Once you create something, it's like Frankenstein, Now I'm thinking with all the Pluto Aquarius predictions. So you create something, you plant a seed in something. If you create enmity, or if you create enmity to say, oh, make this person fight with this person, yeah, okay. But if you create evil in the heart of a person, you can see how this can go wrong, right? Especially now when the world is at war, and you talk about war tactics, war strategies. And this reminds me of another lunar mansion where it was said to take the water out of people. Again, you're taking the water, taking humanity out of people. Like, I'm not saying that I can account for all divergent cases, but creating enmity. Well, you can create separation if you think about powerful people, okay? And there are this, powerful duo or powerful couple or partners or something like that, but they're not doing good things for humanity, and they seem to have this cohesion that gives them power to be together, but to do bad things, okay? Then you may use this. You say, okay, I want to dissolve, to decentralize, to dissolve, to make these people separate. Make these people, but you must understand, make these people separate, make these people separate from each other, maybe it's better. Make these people fight each other, not so good. You know how many children are trafficked because their parents are divorcing and, they hate each other and then they fight, and then the welfare takes the child, poof, now they're sex trafficked, they're sold to pedophiles, to this, to that. So if you want to release yourself, and I'm thinking that this is probably political, then, you have to be, it's always better to have an elegant solution that is with the least amount of bad stuff into it, because things tend to, or even if you bring ammunition to a country, okay, then it uses the ammunition. I don't know how many illegal weapon we catch in Israel or we don't catch in Israel, and how many terror attacks were done by weapon that was basically no, how do you say, like belonging to the IDF? No. No simple way to say it. You give weapon out, you don't know what they will do with this weapon, and they will attack you with this weapon eventually. This is not so good. So this is why I'm saying this. Henry Cornelius Agrippa, Aldebaran or Aldelamen, the eye head of the Taurus. The eye or head of the Taurus, destruction and hindrance of buildings, fountains, wells, and gold mines. So this is another one for destruction of water and structures and gold mines. The flight of reptiles. Oh, the flight of reptiles and creates discords, revenge, separation, enmity, ill will, a soldier on a horse holding a serpent in his right hand. So again, we can go, now we see a mixture. Okay. First of all, the flight of reptiles. What is the flight of reptiles? Maybe it is actually against snakes. If you want to maybe use it to make the snakes go away, I don't know. Discord. Okay. Again, those things are very risky. Like I said, with the example of parents getting divorced and then woof, they take the children. Now the children are sex trafficked. Now they're murdering people for no reason and so on. But revenge, again, unless revenge is like social change, and how should you say it? You know, there are certain acts that they say, oh, this was personal revenge, but no, it was actually to social change. And of course, there are feelings involved. So somebody was hurt, like people were oppressed, then they speak up, and then they say, oh, this is revenge, this is this, this is that. But aside from the intense feelings and the vengeance in the voice, there's also the highest form is the desire to make a change, to make things different. But other than that, you know, better plant trees than dig graves. So yes. What was more here? Separation, enmity, ill will. Okay. Again, those things that we're in the 23rd century. We've seen so many political crises. We've seen so many world wars. We've seen so many genocides. We can understand how, on the one hand, having a lot of binds and allies can be destructive. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand, which led to the First World War, because everybody was in contract with everybody. Now, one person is killed, the entire world goes to a war. This is also the other polarity is no good. But if we have, how should I say it? Yeah, so much so that we create, like, to separate this from this and to separate that from that. Like, be cautious with it. Peter Stockinger, Aldebaran, the Eye of Taurus. Related to the star of the Eye of the constellation of Taurus, one of the royal stars of antiquity. Favorable for work, manufacture, and small trade. So work, manufacture, and small trade. Unfavorable for real estate, building, and everything having to do with mines. Okay. So small trade, small businesses maybe. But that's nice. Aldebaran indicates, this is Christopher Warnock, Aldebaran indicates arguments and anger. Its appearance often signifies chaos, enmity, struggle, and conflict. Chaos, enmity, struggle, and conflict can be an indication of strength too, but the situation requires restraint, lest we succumb to violence, either physical or emotional. This mention can signify a contest of will or lawsuit. It indicates countervailing forces, often signifies hindrance in reaching our goals. It reminds us, however, that without risk there is no gain. To achieve our goals, it's sometimes necessary to put forth furious effort. The treasure cannot be seized by the slow the fearful, or the lazy. Aldebaran makes hurt us to seize the day, apply our greatest effort in order to reap rewards. Then think about this. Tropically, this moon is in Taurus. So it's exalted here. Okay? Tropically, the moon is exalted here. Look at the contradicting and how many contradictions we need to hold. And I want to take this a bit outside of astrology, because when people hear about these many contradictions, this is water, nobody's peeing. Pouring myself a cup of water. So I'm narrating this for the people who think that I was peeing in front of the. So no. My God, was I thirsty. It's a hot day here. Anyway, when we run into astrology, we have sidereal astrology, we have tropical astrology, we have whole sign houses, we have equal houses, we have Placidus, we have Renaissance astrology, which is another housing system. We have zodiac astrology, we have non-zodiacal astrology, where you deal only with the planets and the midpoints between the planets and hard aspects, or the hard aspects I'm already mixing with Uranian astrology. Maybe that's the non-zodiacal, whatever. We have various things that tell us various things. Okay, some people look at the moon, some people look at the ascendant for the native, there's solar astrology. And those all give us various details, various things. And we need to make a decision or make an election. Should I do something and such on this date? So there's a lot of contradicting data, and a lot of people resort to not looking at the astrology. Okay? And while the astrology will still play out if you don't, like the sky will still roll if you ain't looking. But I want to remind you that of another field of studies called international politics, okay? International relations, it's politics. And in international relations, we understand that a leader bases a decision on whichever data that they have that is for sure missing, for sure there are people underneath, even in a democratic regime, that want and have other interests, for sure is concerned with various cultures, various places, so various policies that are designed from various cultures, various philosophies, even various religions, and has to make a decision and has to differentiate what is noise and what is an omen, okay? Which also astrological magic people do, it's like omenology. And it kind of feels like those situations where we're like, well, the moon here in this lunar mansion, the moon is about destruction, about revenge, about enemies, a destruction of water even, destruction of buildings, although it is also good to build, destruction of lovers. If you marry, the woman would prefer another man. It's good to receive compliments from or things from people, to ask for favors, even from royalty, but not good to partner up with people who have more power than you. And at the same time, this is tropically a moon in Taurus, an exalted moon. So where the moon is the most relaxed, emotionally safe, materially provided for, who thinks about revenge at this point? And that brings me to what is in the previous lunar mention. The highest form of revenge is to be relaxed, to be joyous, to live your life and live it well, and to even bless an enemy so that they will live so well that they don't even think about hurting others, that all the vengeance, that all the traumas, that all the things that bring them anger in the heart, or vengefulness, or lack of self-esteem, or lack of faith that they can live their own lives independently of your reaction, and that all parties can have like more than enough. That's, some people consider this, the best form of revenge is this massive success. And in Taurus, this massive success is very simple. It's a plot of land where you sit on the land and you grow your crops and you drink yourself a cup of milk or a cup of coffee, and you just enjoy watching, your pets play in the background or your kids play in the background. And this is massive success. It's simple, the simple life. So I don't know, like you may come up with your own idea of how to hold all these things together. Keywords: primal, material, discord, enmity, chaotic substance, ill will, hindrance. So yeah, this is the lunar mansion, and tropically the moon is exalted. And this was the rider. Yeah, we have, this is the symbol here with this person riding a horse with the sword here. So that's the lunar mansion. Okay, I don't know like much to do with this. Obviously, I'm not going to cast a spell to destroy or whatnot. And again, it's Venus ruled moon, but you must understand that this is not the time to partner with people who have more power than you, but it is the time to ask for favors from them. So yes, that's the video for today, and I'll see you in my next video. Is surely with Spirit of Matter. Happy Mercury in Leo. And by the way, in my previous video about Mercury in Leo, I said, oh, we might have a famous author, somebody releasing a book, and I did not even know it. Then I go on Twitter. Palas, an astrologer, just released her own book. So you can go to Palas Athena, yeah, on Twitter, and she has her own book, and it's her Mercury return. She has Mercury in Leo. And again, I reiterate how lovely it is when we are entering the season where people will speak. They might be speaking a lot and they might be requiring your attention, but remember, they are speaking their heart right now. And now people just, just by connecting, validating, appreciating, you can get a lot done. You don't have to destroy anybody right now. Okay? Even though this is the lunar mansion, you don't have to destroy anybody. You can simply speak your heart out and be in your stand. And that is a very, very, very blessed time. It's a very blessed chance. All the while Mercury is moving quite fast. So all the while Mercury is here, we get the chance to listen, to respect, to adjust accordingly, because now people speak their heart out and they are vulnerable, and they, if they are validated now, they will be way less nitpicky in Virgo, way less eloquently destructive in Libra, way less emotionally and psychologically controlling, although fierce and deep, in Scorpio, and way less of a tyrant in Sagittarius, and absolutely not a killer with their words in Capricorn, and hacking anonymously to destruct systems in Aquarius and Pisces. So that's the spirit of today. Bye-bye.